23 ABC News is brought to you in high definition by BMW of Bakersfield. Come and experience the all-new 6 Series Grand Coupe today. The station that covers Kern County, 23 ABC News at 11.
Thanks for choosing 23 ABC News at 11. I'm Jackie Parks.
And I'm Tim Callahan. The investigation over alleged patient privacy violations at the Bakersfield VA clinic is over.
And 23 ABC's Carlos Correa is live in central Bakersfield with the findings released today. Carlos?
3 separate investigations show that no medical records were released from this facility at all, and the physician who is being accused of violating patient privacy no longer working here. In 2011, a security guard at the Bakersfield VA clinic witnessed a potential breach of medical information.
We received notification from the security guard, reported to the site manager of Bakersfield that he had confiscated what he thought was private patient information.
The allegations involving the VA physician, whose name is not being released, sparked 3 different investigations.
One, an internal investigation from the VA in Greater Los Angeles. The second one we did was from our network office. It's our higher level regional office in Long Beach, California. And finally, a third investigation was completed.
Leaders with the VA clinic say no patient or private information was released to the community or abused in any way.
It's critical for us, and it's a priority of us, that our patient information is protected and secure.
The findings show the accused doctor taking an authorized patient schedule home, which was approved by superiors.
It was not patient private information or medical records. It was a patient schedule that we allow all physicians and providers across the VA to take home.
The schedule does include a patient's name and social security number. It's a document VA leaders say providers can easily access electronically from home.
We provide the most highest quality of care, and to do that they need to coordinate their patients' appointments, they need to coordinate their care and have access to the information they need to treat their patients. Every year, all employees here at the VA clinic go through an intense training that focuses on patient privacy. Live at 11, Carlos Correa, 23 ABC.
Meantime, local veterans are having to deal with a backlog since the government reopened last night after being partially shut down for 16 days. There would have been serious issues with disability checks if the government were to remain closed. The Veterans Assistance Foundation relies heavily on the Department of Labor, which had reopened just in time to avoid any gaps in services. City Council members say they're significantly behind with certain planning and development projects.
We had applications with the Housing and Urban Development Department for curb, gutter, and sidewalk installations around some schools in Southeast Bakersfield. We had some applications for road widening projects we wanted to do.
Council members say they will be working overtime hours to make sure they're caught up on the work. And a little over a month after the LAX airport bus pulled out of Bakersfield, another company has drove into town to continue that service. The Brooklyn-based company Interstate Bus has announced that it will begin running buses between the Amtrak station in downtown Bakersfield to LAX on November 24th. According to their website, Interstate plans to offer 6 trips a day, and a one-way ticket will cost you $32. The previous company pulled out of Bakersfield because they were just averaging 10 passengers per trip and needed 14 to cover the costs.
Here's Colin Jackson now with our first check on the forecast.
All things in the Pacific are alive, but they won't get here. We just had this big ridge on top of us, and all these storms out here are going to stay put or move north or south or just fizzle out before they get here. Unfortunately, we need the rainfall. It hasn't rained in a long time. I mean, anything half decent. And right now, our temperatures are nice. We're at 65. That's warmer than last night at this time by quite a few degrees, almost 5, in fact. And Tehachapi is sitting only at 46, 51 at Frazier Park, and 55 up at the lake. Here come the buses tomorrow morning. 58 at 7:30 and 3 o'clock. It's going to be 80 degrees. Look for temperatures above that mark right through the weekend. We'll have that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
All right, Colin, thanks. A man accused of kidnapping and torturing his girlfriend for 3 days has heard his verdict. Police say Christopher Lawless beat and tortured his girlfriend during her captivity last November. The victim survived after escaping. The trial just wrapped up yesterday in Kern County Superior Court, and the verdict is something of a mixed blessing for Lawless. The jury was hung on the most serious charges. Lawless was convicted, though, on 3 minor charges, but he could be retried on the hung charges.
One never knows what the district attorney will do. I think it sends a strong message to the district attorney that this case is one of Mr. Lawless being improperly charged.
The prosecutor in the case declined to go on camera, but says she has not decided if she will retry Lawless on those charges. A family of a military serviceman contacted 23 ABC after a package sent home by their son was stolen at their front door, and they're blaming the post office. Justin Odell sent a box of personal items home and insured the package so that it would have to be signed for as it was delivered. However, the family says the mail carrier left the box without getting a signature and someone stole it off their porch. The box had bank statements and financial information inside of it. The family also tells 23 ABC that after the mail carrier realized his mistake, he signed for the delivery himself to cover his tracks.
I believe they've taken him off of my route, but I saw him delivering on another route on Saturday. So it means nothing's happened to him. He's admitted he did it on both counts, that he left it without a signature and that he forged a signature. How does he still have a job?
23 ABC spoke to postal officials who say the matter had been investigated and that the carrier did not follow proper procedure when he dropped off the package. They also say the carrier would be dealt with through administrative policy.
The family of one woman whose cells became an important tool in medicine shared their story tonight at CSUB. All CSUB freshmen read the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks this semester. And instead of having the author come out and speak, the family of the woman who the book is about came out to connect with students. Henrietta Lacks was a poor tobacco farmer whose cells were taken without her knowledge in 1951. Those cells became one of the most important tools in medicine, cloning, gene mapping, and more. The Lacks family spoke tonight about what the book means to them.
I get people that come to me with tears in their eyes thanking me because there's alive today because of the medication that my grandmother's cells helped to create. And that feeling gives me so much pride.
The first-year experience requires freshmen to all read a common book so they can share the common experience. The program exists as a part of the One Bakersfield, One Book, One Bakersfield, One Kern partnership.
Sounds like a good read. The federal government's doors are back open, but how long will it take to get people back to work? And important programs up and running? We'll have some answers next.
Plus, students exposed to science in the hopes of sparking future careers. What a local school is doing to ignite their passions early. The government is now back up and running, and so are businesses and workers everywhere. Karen Travers has the latest from Washington.
The government reopened, and across the nation, things were getting back to normal. Many of the hundreds of thousands of furloughed federal workers were back on the job.
I'm excited. I need to help people. That's my job is.
We have a lot of school districts that probably need our help.
Closed for business signs came down at California's Yosemite National Park and Philadelphia's Independence Mall. Here in Washington, barricades were removed from the iconic monuments. Trash that piled up during the shutdown was picked up, and crowds lined up to visit the Smithsonian museums.
We're pretty excited to see all the museums today.
The shutdown cost the nation an estimated $24 billion, and even though Congress reached an 11th-hour deal, it didn't address any of the broader issues that divide Democrats and Republicans on spending and the deficit. Today, President Obama put the blame squarely on Republicans.
You don't like a particular policy or a particular president? Then argue for your position. Go out there and win an election. Push to change it. But don't break it.
Republican leaders are pointing the finger at Senator Ted Cruz. The freshman from Texas rallied conservatives in the fight against Obamacare that triggered the shutdown in the first place. Today, he wouldn't rule out fighting another round, even if that meant another shutdown.
I would do anything, and I will continue to do anything I can to stop the train wreck that is Obamacare.
Cruz insists he didn't want a shutdown. The bill passed last night only funds the government through January 15th, so the next fight may be just around the corner. Karen Travers, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Well, it's big business for our mountain communities, but a water shortage is threatening the tourist industry there. How locals are getting creative to stay afloat in a dry spell.
And then later on, Jimmy Kimmel.
Thanks. Tonight, Science Bob Flugfelder is with us. We have music from Sleigh Bells, and from Scandal, Kerry Washington is here. Show them that you're here. See, I told you.
Kern County cities known for whitewater rafting adventures are being forced to find new ways of bringing tourists after a very slow summer. 23 ABC's Amanda Gomez tells us how they're staying alive during these dry times.
Summer has come and gone. Now businesses in the Kern River Valley that managed to survive are counting their blessings.
A lot of us are really stretched thin, and so we've cut back our help and cut back our hours, trying to just make things work as well as we can.
Businesses in the Kern River Valley lost 25 to 30% of their revenue this summer because of a short rafting season and tough economic times.
I mean, that's just kind of a rough guess, but I've talked to a lot of different types of businesses, and everybody has suffered.
Some shops in Lake Isabella and Wofford Heights even had to close their doors for good.
It's just because there's no money here. Nobody's coming here.
23 ABC first told you about the problem back in May. Since then, the Kern River Valley has tried to look for new ways to bring in more money. One business owner says reinvention is the key to staying open.
You just always have to reinvent yourself, always have to come up with something new and fun and cool and a new direction.
That's why Lucian Whitman came up with the Zorb ball this summer.
It's a 12-foot inflatable ball that you can walk on water, and we had that out every weekend.
Whitman says new ideas like that helped him stay afloat.
I feel like we're blessed that we did as well as we did, but this was a challenging year for sure.
Kernville also decided to hold its first Whiskey Flat Fall Festival.
That money will help us to continue to advertise for the Kern River Valley on all the wonderful experiences and adventures that can be had up here.
Decorations are up and preparations are already underway for the celebration next weekend.
You can buy pre-sale tickets for the Fall Festival right now. Just download our 23 ABC app to find out where you can buy them and what sets this festival apart from the Whiskey Flat Festival in February. Amanda Gomez, 23 ABC.
Well, by most accounts, it's been a successful year for business in the state legislature. Just one of 38 bills that the California Chamber of Commerce called job killers made it to the governor's desk. Governor Brown did sign a number of business-backed bills, including one that'll speed up the process of opening up a small business in California. And that's something small business advocates are looking forward to.
So many small businesses were frustrated with the laborious, long, delayed process at the Secretary of State just for somebody who wanted to start a taco shop, a bookstore, an auto shop. This bill is actually going to help small businesses move ahead and actually get started and actually try to create some jobs, which is much needed in this state.
But small business advocates say the minimum wage hike is the one bill that will hurt small business owners. They say many owners will struggle to keep benefits for a small staff, and it could lead to layoffs for smaller companies.
Hey, it's almost Friday, and there's really no change coming. We may go up a few degrees and down a few degrees, but overall, we're just holding on to this trend of gorgeous weather here in October, and we pay a big price for it with a hot summer. For those of you who just moved here, isn't this great? Never gets hotter than this. Storm, 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 storm. There's so much out here I haven't got time to talk about it, but I do have one thing to say. None of it's coming our way. We just don't have any rainfall chances in there. And the latest computer model runs keep us dry until the beginning of November, which is not good. We need the rainfall, but we don't need it on Halloween. Rain along the northern tier. You think it's going to snow in Denver tonight? Ooh, it's going to be close. And the current temperature is 37. Oh, it's going to be close. And we've got 67 in New York City and 49 in Portland, so the cool air is to the north. It's not cool here at all. We're sitting at 65. Boy, that's nice. Winds are now east of 3, and we've got 55 at Lake Isabella. Not that cold in Tehachapi, 46, a little warmer than last night. 59 Porterville, 57 down in Taft. Wind speeds, it is almost just dead calm across the entire area, all the way to the coast. We are down 1 now from last night at this time, but our high was above average, 82. 79 is the normal, or average. 53 was the low this morning. We'll be down there again tomorrow morning. The nights are getting longer. The days are getting shorter. The overnight lows now pretty steady in the low to mid 50s. 75 was the high at Lake Isabella. 81s to our north. 84 was the warm spot in Taft. And only 70s to 81 in the desert, so that's cool too. 86 in Burbank. How about that? 83 in San Luis Obispo. Warmer than we were. And they'll continue that trend right into the weekend. Downtown LA should be in the mid and upper 80s this weekend if you live near there, or going there, I should say. Winds northeasterly tomorrow morning and staying that way around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Nothing too gusty. Even the desert winds will be light at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. So enjoy the weather. Let's travel. San Francisco goes to 70 on Friday. Pretty much the same for the weekend. 85 Fresno. Yosemite's open. Isn't that great? 75 there. South Lake Tahoe around 70 and around 82 in the state capital. 80 for Santa Barbara. That's warm. Pismo Beach. Oh, man. How nice is that? 75. The water's cool, but that's worth it. 75 degrees. That's a nice high for them. 88 at Disneyland. A little hot in line. 78 in Santa Monica and 78 in San Diego. Palm Springs will be the warm spot, but 90. That's nice for them, too. Mid to upper 40s and some places above 50, like Bakersfield, around 52. A light northwest to northeast wind tonight, not too windy at all. Tomorrow morning, Glenville drops to 32. Lake Isabella, mid-40s, and we've got mid to upper 30s for Fraser Park and Tehachapi. And the overnight lows are happening right around 536. Tomorrow, northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour in the overnight period, and overnight lows here, 39 for California City, but you'll warm up to 88 tomorrow and 78 Mojave and around 80 in Lancaster. That's nice and not windy and not dusty at all. Mountain regions look good. 77 Lake Isabella, 75 Glenville, 68 Tehachapi, but I think Fraser Park, you guys will be in the low 70s. On the valley floor, great day to start your weekend on Friday. Temperatures in the low 80s. Can you dig it?
Yes.
52, clear and cool tonight. And a light northwest breeze. Tomorrow's high, 83, sunny and mild. Whoops. What's that doing there?
What in the world?
These graphics people that run my show back
Trying
there.
to check Facebook while you're out here?
I don't know what that was. Anyway, here's the 7-day forecast. Low 80s. Do you like it?
Love it. No,
Good.
it's perfect.
And guess who we love too?
What?
Colin Jackson.
Why?
Because this is your next story, buddy.
Really?
If you're interested in becoming the next Colin Jackson, Sierra.
Careful.
Let me get through this, Colin. Sierra Middle School hosted an event tonight that could get you on the right path to becoming Colin Jackson. That's right. The Bakersfield City School District and the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers hosted the 7th annual Science Night, or Noche de Ciencias, at Sierra Middle School. Parents and students got to explore the sciences that interest them, and the evening gave the students a chance to see if they want to become Colin Jackson and also to learn more about science.
I've always thought science was fun. I've always wanted to become a scientist myself and learn all this different kinds of stuff.
Throw some meteorology in there. Well, the event was funded by the contributions of Chevron, Halliburton, and Frito-Lay. Well, Bakersfield College students dropped to the ground and took cover as part of a global earthquake drill today.
However, there may be some uniqueness to it. Okay. I need everyone to get down up underneath your desk.
At exactly 10:17 a.m. Pacific time, 24 million people took part in the Great Shakeout. The event allowed BC officials to test their emergency response plan, and they were even able to work out some of the kinks to make sure they are ready if the real thing happens.
What we require is that when buildings are evacuated, a building runner will actually let us know when the building has been searched and is fully empty. What we have to do is wait for every runner from every building to check in with us. They fill out a sheet of paper with the time and they transfer it to our incident command. Well, one runner from one building didn't check in, but we had radio communication that that building was evacuated, so we called an end to the exercise.
The largest earthquake to hit Kern County was a magnitude 7.3 in 1952 and was centered in the South Valley.
Well, the time is up for Congressman Kevin McCarthy to vote on immigration reform. That was the message today from dozens who gathered outside his office. Leaders from Kern Coalition for Citizenship and the California Table for Immigration Reform rallied in front of Congressman McCarthy's Bakersfield office with clock alarms ringing and signs in hand, saying the time is now for McCarthy to vote on an immigration bill that's currently in the House.
We're going to keep coming back every day if needed until he can bring it to a vote. We've already shown we can get together a broad-based coalition of his constituents: business, education, faith-based, labor unions. These are representative of all sectors of his constituency, so he needs to understand his voters want a vote on it.
The Senate passed a comprehensive reform bill in June. House GOP leaders have convened a special conference on this issue, but there is no sign of a vote anytime soon.
When we come back, it's Athlete of the Week time. It's tonight, the girls' turn. Find out about one sophomore who's having a season even seniors around the valley they'd be proud of. Game, set, and match next.
Oh, we are nearing the end of the work week, and that means it's time to celebrate a local student worthy of our Athlete of the Week. 23 ABC's Casey Kiernan has the story of a Stockdale tennis player whose future is bright.
Our Athlete of the Week, Ariana Tilbury, could easily make a case to be Athlete of the Year. She's only a sophomore, and she's the Stockdale varsity tennis's #1. She's beaten the #1 of every other school she's played in the Central section, and she did it again this week against BHS.
We had a long weekend with the Lewis Cup, and I was a little bit mentally fatigued, but, I just tried to work through it when I was playing.
The Lewis Cup drained us mentally and emotionally, and she got it back, though, and really did a great job against BHS, because that would have caused us to have a question mark about who might be the top girl in our league.
But as it stands, there's no doubt. Her Central section undefeated record is even more impressive, considering she's only a sophomore.
I thought last year when she was a freshman she was awfully good too, and then you're too young to really feel the pressure. But now, she's a sophomore, but she's handled everything like a champion.
It's tough in a way, balancing school and tennis. I'm glad to be able to do it and have that privilege.
The privilege is also with the rest of the Mustangs. Ariana dominates alone on the court for sure, but practicing against one of the section's best rubs off on an entire team.
Well, she makes everybody better. Even out here at practice when she's hitting with the girls, you got one of the best players, if not the best singles player in the section. When she's here at practice just every day with us working out, it helps everybody to get better.
For her undefeated record stretching into this weekend's SWYL win against BHS, Ariana Tilbury earns a plaque provided by Kern Trophies and is our Female Athlete of the Week. Pretty
cool stuff. Well, they'll leave the lights on for you. That's the message from After School Alliance, looking to rally support for after-school programs. Got some nice moves there. Well, more than 7,500 communities and 1 million Americans participated in the nationwide event, including the Boys and Girls Clubs of Kern County, which feature 52 after-school programs. The event shows the importance of after-school programs and resources required to keep the lights on and the doors open.
I look forward to coming here every day, just to hang out with my friends and do all the fun stuff we do. I think it is very important for people to come over here so they have a safe environment to hang out with friends and not in the streets doing bad stuff.
Boys and Girls Clubs work with 7 local school districts and facilitate 52 after-school programs, and they serve in all those locations 5,000 children. Pretty cool stuff.
Yes, it is. Well, it once was lost, but now it's found. Why one mother is praising a police officer after he returned something near and dear to her heart. And finally, here at 11, a UC Davis police sergeant made it his mission to track down a mother's lost iPhone after he found out what was on it. On Sylvia Leon's phone were pictures of her son Roy, who's in a coma after suffering a brain aneurysm last month. Sergeant Walter Watt was able to find surveillance video and track down who walked out of a bathroom with Leon's phone. The woman who had it said she didn't know whose phone it was or what to do with it. Once he returned the phone, Sergeant Watt was the happiest delivery man around.
She cried. She was very happy.
It was a really rough day that I got my phone back, and when he came in to bring us our phone back, he just kind of rebuild up our hope, and there's always hope for everything.
Hope made possible by Sergeant Watt, and now Leon is focusing on her son's recovery in the hope that she'll have new memories to capture in the future.
Doing good.
Yeah. All right. Temperatures this weekend, we're almost here. 80s, low 80s, nothing too hot, nothing too cold. Keep that thermostat off.
Right.
No heat, no AC.
Windows open.
Windows open, fresh air. It's awesome.
And
no dust.
And no dust, even better. All right, that's going to do it for us here at 11. Thank you for joining us. Jimmy Kimmel's coming up next.
Good night.